A Russian soldier has pleaded guilty to charges of war crimes after he became the first to go on trial in Ukraine over Putin's invasion. Sergeant Vadim Shishimarin, 21, answered yes when asked by a judge in Kyiv today whether he was guilty of shooting a 62-year-old man in the head in the village of Chupakhivka during the first week of the war. He now faces life in prison under penalties spelled out in the section of the Ukrainian Criminal Code that addresses the laws and customs of war. Shishimarin admitted to killing the civilian with a Kalashnikov rifle as he fled with 4 other soldiers in a stolen car in a village in the Sumy region on February 28, just days after Vladimir Putin ordered his troops into Ukraine on February 24. The man was pushing a bicycle by the side of the road when he was shot in the head and died on the spot a few dozen meters from his home, the Ukrainian prosecutor general said during the opening phase of the trial last week. Prosecutors said Shishimarin was ordered by a superior to kill a civilian so he would not report them to Ukrainian defenders. Irina Venediktova, the prosecutor general, said, Shishimarin is actually physically in Ukraine. We are starting a trial not in absentia but rather directly with the person who killed a civilian, and this is a war crime. The Security Service of Ukraine, known as the SVU, posted a short video on May 4 of Shishimarin speaking in front of camera and briefly describing how he shot the man. The SVU described the video as one of the first confessions of the enemy invaders. I was ordered to shoot, said Shishimarin, wearing a blue and gray hooded sweatshirt. I shot 1 round at him. He falls. And we kept on going. Ukrainian video blogger Volodymyr Zolkin also appeared to interview Shishimarin in a YouTube video posted on March 19. In the clip, he said his unit was told they would be taking part in military exercises in southwestern Russia 200 miles from Ukraine in January. He was later captured when his column was surrounded while they tried to return wounded soldiers to Russia. The footage then shows Shishimarin calling his father, saying, "They treat us well here." The father then tells Zolkin, "He is just a soldier. I don't think he knew where he was going. You say he invaded, and we are told that they were defending the country. He didn't know. He was told to. You hear one thing and we another." The clip ends with Shishimarin urging fellow Russians to not join the war effort and to protest instead. Kyiv has repeatedly accused Russian troops of committing atrocities since the invasion began on February 24. Russian shelling has targeted schools and hospitals, with thousands of civilians killed in the brutal campaign. There are also allegations of mass rape, torture and execution being carried out by Putin's forces while the occupied Ukrainian towns in the Kyiv region. Prosecutor General Irina Venediktova's office has said it is looking into more than 10,700 potential war crimes involving more than 600 suspects, including Russian soldiers and government officials. Many of the alleged atrocities came to light last month after Moscow's forces ended their bid to capture Kyiv and withdrew from around the capital, exposing mass graves and streets and yards strewn with bodies in towns such as Bucha. Volodymyr Yaversky, coordinator at the Center for Civil Liberties in Kyiv, one of Ukraine's largest human rights groups, said activists will monitor the Russian soldier's trial to ensure that his legal rights are protected. It can be difficult, he said, to maintain the neutrality of court proceedings during wartime. The observance of the trial's rules and norms will determine how similar cases will be handled in the future, Yaversky said. Vadim Shishimarin, an independent Kyiv-based political analyst, said it's important for Ukrainian authorities to demonstrate that the war crimes will be solved and those responsible will be brought to justice in line with international standards. The town of Bucha in the outskirts of Kyiv revealed a scene of horrors after it was recaptured by Ukraine, with mutilated civilian corpses lining the streets. Venediktova's office has said it has received reports of more than 10,000 alleged war crimes, with 622 suspects identified. The Russian invasion has sparked an exodus of nearly 6 million civilians, many of whom bear accounts of torture, sexual violence and indiscriminate destruction. The UN Human Rights Council is due to hold a special session on Ukraine on Thursday.